Hello, Comms 101. This is my audience for my informative speech. They're gonna be sitting right here behind the camera. So yeah, thanks guys. Okay. So first I would like you folks to imagine your pets. Maybe one that you have at home, or maybe you're hiding one or two pets in your dorm. I want you to imagine how they look when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're hungry, and especially when they're in pain, because a lot of pet owners know that you can really tell when an animal is in pain or experiencing a hardship. Um, so basically, as Christians, we are especially called to take care of our pets because God gave us the earth to be stewards of. Um, it says that in Genesis. I have done extensive research on this topic, and I have actually learned a lot in these past couple days, going to different organizational websites and everything. I'd like to prove my statement to you in four main points: how these animals are treated, who treats them this way, how they get away with it, and what you can do to end basically this whole tragedy of animal testing. First and most basically, I'd like to discuss the general treatment of the animals that are held for the testing of products. They spend their entire lives cramped up in these little prisons and cages, little containers. They're subjected to experiments and will often be shocked, burned, forced to contract unnatural diseases, given tumors, blinded, deprived, isolated, to name a few experiences that they may be suffering at this moment. A lot of these animals have only ever felt fear, and they shrink away in terror when a human being just crosses in front of them. While these forms of abuse sound like something that wouldn't be very prominent because it does sound really horrible, you actually may be surprised at the number of products they buy that have been tested on animals. To name a few companies, there are some like Revlon and MAC who do it just to meet the requirements of Chinese markets. Sometimes the product will say not animal tested, but it contains ingredients that are tested on animals in a facility in a different location, so it's kind of a loophole. Products that do that are, well, Neutrogena is guilty of this. Unfortunately, huge companies like Johnson & Johnson, which owns things like Purell, Aveeno, Visine, Neutrogena, and Clean & Clear, it also employs animal testing, so it's kind of difficult to escape in some aspects. And you can also go to PETA.org for a super comprehensive list if you are interested. And it's difficult to imagine giant companies getting away with this stuff, but you may be surprised to learn how little the US government actually does to protect these animals, which is really unfortunate. There are some laws that help the animals. This includes the Animal Welfare Act, which covers all animals for testing except for mice, rats, and birds, which is really unfortunate because those are the animals that get tested on the most. Public health service policy protects animals of the institutions that they support financially, and this usually is just colleges and universities. The Association for Assessment and Accreditation of Laboratory Animal Care is a nonprofit that accredits facilities on a voluntary basis for treating their animals with dignity and respect, but it's not enough, obviously, because there are loopholes. Some companies just will not follow the law, so it's not quite enough to keep these animals safe. Therefore, it's important that the general public be able to discern when and how they're taking part in enabling the mistreatment of animals so that they can pick up the moral slack that their government allows for, which is kind of something that Christians have to do a lot nowadays. What you can do personally is you could go to PETA.org to find out what you shouldn't be using, what is tested on animals. You could go to the leapingbunny.org to find out what is okay to use, what definitely has not been tested on animals. Also, you can just kind of spread the word and make sure people know that this is a thing that happens and how imperative it is that we all try to stop it. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that animal testing in facilities is really prominent and it's really bad. It's super inhumane, it's very widespread, and it's legal, which is the scariest part. But the good news is that we can help end it. Um, Basically, I started researching this just for the speech that I had to give for Comms 101, but I actually got really into it. And I decided that the next time I buy products, I'm going to get it off Leaping Bunny, and I'm going to make sure that they have not been tested on animals. So basically, I think that we should all be really concerned about this as Christians, to be taking care of God's creation. And that is all. Thank you for listening.